and welcome back to Internal Energies Presents Conversations on Consciousness. We were having fun during the break. We left and we were talking about the Akashic Records and awakening and what that looks like, and she had mentioned something really great that I wanted to make sure we touched back on. It was what the Akashic Records means. Is it inaccessible to you? Do you have to go to find some expert teacher or master teacher to access the records? So she has some wisdom on accessing the Akashic Records I wanted to make sure we shared with you.
Well, thank you, Manette. I wanted to really share this part because I find this most fascinating, that people think that they need some special abilities to tap into Akashic energy. And honestly, you don't. This is your divine birthright. And you can access it through many different ways. I feel like the method will call you, and it may be that you tap into it through meditation or through some specific prayer or whatever it is. For me personally, I feel like intuitive abilities is how I access it, through channeling, and obviously this is one of my masteries that I bring through. And I would say that when you are in that state of accessing the Akashic field, you will feel that slight shift. It'll be like that beautiful energy of love that you suddenly feel like you're being hugged.
That's why, to me, it's always
yes.
like this warmth, like this peace and calm and nurturing that's just so beautiful.
Yes, like that infinite love, like a cosmic hug, I would say. You will feel that shift, and it can happen at any point. You may be in a healing session if you're a healer, or if you're just meditating or doing something that raises your vibration. One thing I do want to mention is being in your heart center and feeling like you are, grounded in that heart space really does open up the Akashic field or energy. It expands it so that you can tap or hold more, so that infinite wisdom would flow. And another thing I want to mention to you is energy in the Akashic Record comes first. So you will feel that cosmic hug first. Then comes the information. So whatever it is that's pertinent or relevant, and you can even use some questions that are, I wouldn't use like yes and no question, because the record is not used for prediction. It's used for empowerment more, or healing or inspiration. So I would use questions that are open-end, like what, how, why, if you want to ask questions.
I like that, because that's one of the tools that I teach too, is I learned from Access, is being in the question.
Yes.
When you ask these open-ended questions, so like she was saying, you tap in there and you just become the state that's ready to receive. That warm hug comes in and you realize, okay, I'm ready to receive this information. And then you just ask, what would it take for me to receive a message now to confirm what I'm supposed to be doing? Or like these open-ended type questions, right? To just be in the question and allow an energy to present itself.
Be in the question and understand that the answers may come to you in different forms. So it may not be like you're hearing voice in your head. Perhaps it will be a sense of knowing or a feeling. And it's up to you to interpret how does that actually feel to you? What does that mean to you personally? Because as I'm saying, this is your divine birthright. And every person, every soul has an Akashic record. So it's not just humans, it's monuments, everything is alive, crystals, everything that has a soul, that has an awareness, has consciousness, has an Akashic record.
So we were just doing that too. So it was really neat. So she was saying that you could read the Akashic Records of anything. So I brought some crystals today, so I'm going to let you pick whatever one you want, and then you can just tell us a little bit about it.
How about this one that I haven't actually, I haven't touched. Okay, this crystal feels like it has come through from previous lifetimes to you, where you have had mastery in healing, and where you've used it more with or in conjunction with earth energies. So it's really connected to these planetary shifts, and accessing or using this stone perhaps to meditate with, putting it on your heart center, will connect you to the energies of the planet and expand your awareness about what is possible in the healing realms for you and for humanity.
Oh, I love that. That's beautiful.
So this is like one way that you could receive, and all that I really did here is connect through the heart center with the crystal and tap into that Akashic field. And as I'm saying, it does sound like, oh wow, it just come like a gift. but I want to tell you, I did used to use previously a method to get into the record, so I got used to that shift, so it naturally comes. So don't be like frustrated if it takes you a little bit of a time to adjust to the energy, and if the information is coming through kind of slower. Just have patience with it, and eventually it'll become like second nature, like you're.
I always tell a lot of my clients too, it's like a muscle or another sense. You're
Yes.
developing it.
Yes.
So imagine this sense you haven't used before. The more you use it,
Yes.
the more fine-tuned, the stronger it will be, the more your connection with, and also your comfort level. Because, in the beginning you still step in and you might have a little bit of, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to read
Yes.
crystal. But when you really start to open your heart to that, you're open to the energies that are around you. When you're not, you're thinking and stinking, like doing the doubt thing,
Yes.
that shuts off your heart center and all of your energies here. But when you tap into your heart, that energy of whatever is trying to come through, you're in coherence with it. You're in communion with it, so you can receive the messages with ease.
And I like that, because what we're doing is building that heart center bridge between ourselves and, if you're reading for crystal, you're building that heart center bridge of soul to soul. And as I'm saying, for reading personal records, I do want to say, at first, for me, it was like, again, receiving this intuitive information. But now, reading other people's records, and even in mine, it comes through that these light beings are actually bringing through the wisdom and the knowledge and the healing through me and with me, in coherence, just like you said.
Yes. So for me, everything's energy. So when we start to fine tune what energies, as if we were an antenna, that we can receive, then we can start to communicate with those energies. So it's just this really beautiful exchange of energy that just can open you up, the more you use it with ease, to be able to communicate with pretty much anything.
Yes, and that's what I call divine communication. And Akashic Record is a form of divine communication. It's a realm that allows us to tap into that source energy and divine communication at the same time. So it's a beautiful thing. You're right. Just fine-tuning and just kind of like going like an antenna into different dimensions.
Yeah, it's like you're just kind of fine-tuning the more you use it, what station or what frequencies you play with, or that you can
Yes.
communicate with. And it's not just for crystals. I know some of the stuff of what we're talking about, I can hear, that's kind of woohoo. But there's some other, even funny benefits to being in that state. I can tell you, I'm driving down the road and I'll have this sense of knowing, don't go here, turn here. There's going to be, and I don't even question it anymore, because I used to question like, oh, I'm not going to turn here. I always go this way. And every time I doubted my knowing, there was something up there
Yeah.
that I thought. So now it's just this sense of knowing of, whether it's where to park or where to go, or whether to attend certain things. There's just a sense of communication and lightness that I know that I'm choosing what's light because it's connected to my heart and just receiving these messages.
Right, but it's natural to distrust, simply because we live in a time of skepticism.
Yes,
And a lot
I
that's
couldn't have
being
known
questioned.
that.
Yes.
Who am I to know that?
Yes, and again, we are drawing back from that separation consciousness where certain people, it was an entitlement to be able to read the records. As I said, it was privy to mystics before, but really we are in this state where we are coming to our own masteries and awakening to our own divine birthrights, where we are allowed to do all of these things because we don't need to have special abilities or entitlements to do this. We are
all
enough.
have it.
Yes, we all have it. We are enough, and that's what I like to help people remember of the divine being, the divine creator, this divine communication, the different realms of where you can tap into infinite knowledge and wisdom that can assist you through this process of spiritual evolution.
I love it. It reminds me of The Lion King. Remember who you
Yes,
are.
yes.
I tell my clients that all the time.
Remember who
Go
you are,
Remember
yes.
who you are. That's all this is about. It's all tools. It's all energies. It's all communications to remind you who you are and how amazing you are, and the magic that's inside if you just choose to play with that vibration and receive it. All of you. Let's do some channeling now and
Okay.
maybe get into the mode to see if there's any messages that are required now for people to hear, to step into that planetary shift, to start to receive the magic that they be for their path or awakening, whatever that looks like.
Okay. Dearest one, blessed one, and here we are again. Yes, there is a big shift happening on the planet, but there is a shift within your lives as well. So take it as it may. Small steps, big leaps into consciousness. Questioning is fine. That is a part of your human element. We wouldn't want to take that part away. It makes you who you are. It brings out your inquisitive nature. And it brings you further into the adventure of life. You know you are the light beings that you are, yet the fear within you stops you from admitting it. And that is okay, as we say. We are here to assist, to bring through the enlightenment, through knowledge, through wisdom, through spiritual leaders and teachers that you are. And many of you are hiding in your spiritual closets. And you know that. But again, that is okay. So we want to leave you with this. The Akashic realm is an infinite knowledge and wisdom of who you are. Tapping into that wisdom will bring out more of your divine being and sense that you once again belong on this planet rightfully, and that you are here as shifters of the planetary energies, as keepers of knowledge, as divine beings, as an enlightenment group without exception. So if you choose, all you need to do is set the intention to connect to your divine birthrights and open the doors to infinite knowledge and wisdom of who you are. And so it is.
Oh, that was beautiful. I really loved that a lot. And wow, thank you first.
You're welcome.
It's so funny when that happens, how the energy in the room shifts. I mean, I
Yes.
can just feel my heart get so much more expansive,
Yes.
like that connection.
And that's wonderful that you're validating that, because that is the energy of the Akasha, or the Akashic records as we call it. And so the beings that come through are what we call the masters, teachers, and loved ones. Those are the beings that support all of us, and each soul has them. Some people call it council of light, whatever you want to call it, spirit guides, however you want to
It's different
identify
for
it.
everybody,
Yes,
yeah.
it's different for everybody because of their level of awareness and what comfortability. And as I'm saying, you can feel that love and expansion and the wisdom that comes through with it.
It was almost like that deep meditative state. Like my
Yes.
brain, I had to remind myself, okay,
Yes.
I'm going to have to speak after this. I'm getting very relaxed. It was very beautiful too, and I loved in the message the way, they let everybody know there's no right, there's no wrong.
Yeah.
Choose whenever you're ready, if you become ready.
Yeah.
But to know that beautiful divine gift is in there when you're ready to choose. When you're ready to step out of the spiritual closet it talked about. And it is true. It is a huge coming out, because it's usually so different from where you were. It's a complete. That's why they call it a shift or awakening, because you were living, almost, for me it felt like a shell of an existence. It was still I still had joy and things like this. It was amazing, it was great, but it seemed like when it was almost like this flower that blossomed where everything's so much richer, everything's so much more wonderful, there's so much more joy, there's so much more magic and creation. And I invite everyone, if they're ready to choose in this lifetime, to step out of the spiritual closet and start to find out the magic that they be. And it talked about fear, and there is so much fear when you start to choose this, but guide yourself every once in a while when you're really ready to take that step and you have that knowing that something else is possible for you. You have these gifts to say, truth, is it fear or excitement? And whatever that answer is, ask yourself if you're willing to be a little uncomfortable to have a lot more of you. So anything that doesn't allow you to do that, destroy and uncreate it all. So
That is so beautifully spoken. I really like the words that you use. And I also wanted to add to that as it came through channeling, when you're ready to access the Akashic energy, and you may tap into it in a meditation. But when you're consciously ready, all you really need is an intention. And being in your heart definitely helps out. But that intention that I'm ready to open that doorway to infinite knowledge, to a divine being of who I am, to find out what's really behind that veil that we have kind of had over our eyes for a while, and that fear. And as you said, yeah, it may feel a little bit uncomfortable at first, and for me, calling myself channeler, psychic,
I know these
intuitive,
words.
yes, that is, that was like, wow, that is not me at all. But as the more that I'm embodying this and that I'm walking this path, the more that I'm happier and joyful, and that my life has turned around and shifted.
Because you found more of you.
Yes,
you remembered
that's
who you
right.
were, and you
Yes.
walk that path with ease and grace and joy and
Yes.
beauty, and it's just it's a divine path. It's very beautiful. I wouldn't go back for anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And just know you're supported, whatever you believe in, whether it is, the traditional religious, God, in prayer, or whether it's spirit guides or whatever it is for you, know that it really is source energy.
Yes.
So however we name it, it is source energy that we are a part of.
Yes, I'm so grateful to be part of it.
Yes.
It's such a divine, beautiful energy, especially when you're willing to choose to just stop for a moment and ask that question. Wherever you're at in life, if you're stuck, just say, I'm ready. Like she said, I'm ready to open that door. I'm ready to find me and choose more of me and my gifts. What does that look like? And then don't look for an answer. Just see what unravels or shows up that day for you. It's different for all of us, but just asking that question and being the energy where you're ready to receive, it is where it starts. Like she says, the intent. I'm ready. I intend to find more of me and my gifts and magic in this lifetime.
Yes, absolutely.
So we're running out of time here, and I wanted to make sure we got time to talk a little bit about some of the workshops and things you do that people can attend. I know you're going to be doing one at my center soon, so I'm very
Yes.
excited, the Las Vegas Enlightenment Center.
Absolutely. I'm very excited. I'm bringing through my own mastery and of course supported through the Akashic Records. So I will be teaching some workshops about discovering the Akashic Records. And again, getting initiated into that energy, just feeling the shift and finding out more of how you can do that. What is the specific way? And I'll also will be using some messages like we just got, the messages from the Akashic Record. That will be one of the channeling events that I'll be doing in your center and other places. And finally, I'm planning on doing the meditation for people that are really honestly driven and they want that meditative state. I want to do this Akashic Record meditation where we are embodying the Akashic energy and experiencing the healing. And the light language that comes through with the Akashic Record is that cosmic knowledge. So it does include the light language that a lot of people do think it's a little bit out there, but
It's
a
very
beautiful-
high vibratory,
Yes.
though. So if you're looking for an assistance to achieve that state, by all means, the light language does help. And so if for any reason you don't know what that is and you're drawn to it, I invite you to come look up where she is. Tell them about your website where they can find you. and
Yes,
things.
it's very simple. It's www.anikararay.com. So anikaray.com, and you can find all the links for the social media there. And obviously, I offer Akashic consultations. I love doing this work, and check out my events. It's fun, and I love your center, and I'm looking forward to being a part of it.
Thank you. I love these states and being a contribution. And I have to say too, I'm a certified professional life coach, an energy worker, an energy healer, and so much more. Like I said, I have so many different modalities, and not one of my sessions is ever the same, but it's been such a beautiful gift stepping into this. And there was that period where it was uncomfortable, even writing energy worker. People were like, oh, do you work for the electric company? No, and then you have to have those talks, but after a while you just realize you have such a sense of knowing that it comes from your heart. It's almost like you're not explaining to people anymore what you do, but you're becoming the walking invitation for someone to know that it's possible to just receive this much of you in this lifetime.
I agree.
So thank you so much
Thank
for
you
being
very much, Minette.
one of those beings that's choosing to embrace and going through the uncomfortable period, and just saying, even in the uncomfortable period, you know what? However, this is uncomfortable right now. That's okay, because I'm worth it, and I'm ready to choose more of me. I'm ready to have more of me in this lifetime, and this is my time, and it's now. So, having people like you out there that are being the invitation for others to know it's even possible to choose to that level here. I say thank you.
Thank you very much for all that you do.
Thank you. And I want to say thank you to all of you out there that are choosing too. If you don't know where your path is, or any of these tools resonate with you, you can go to Las Vegas Enlightenment Center. There's lots of class, or Manette Internal Energist on Facebook, or internalenergies.com. And thank you so much for joining us today. Have a beautiful day.